"I can sleep in my car. It's fine," she whispered through tears, clutching her box of belongings as the rain began to fall. The fluorescent lights of Patterson and Associates hummed their usual monotonous tune as Maya clutched the edge of her desk. Her fingers were trembling, not from cold, but from the sharp sting of words still echoing in her ears. "We're letting you go." 5 words. That was all it took to shatter 6 months of early mornings, skipped lunches, and late nights when she had stayed behind to organize files no one else wanted to touch. The office around her continued its rhythm. Keyboards clicked, phones rang, colleagues passed by with sympathetic glances, but said nothing. No one ever said anything when someone was let go. It was easier that way, safer. Maya had already packed her things into a small cardboard box, a coffee mug her daughter had painted in preschool, a framed photo of the 2 of them at the park, a sweater that had lived on the back of her chair for months. That was it. 6 months reduced to a box light enough to carry with one hand. Jennifer, the HR manager, stood nearby with her arms crossed, expression carefully neutral. "You'll receive 2 weeks' severance," she said, her tone clipped and rehearsed. "We appreciate your time here, but the company is restructuring. It's nothing personal." Maya nodded slowly. She wanted to scream that it felt personal, that she had worked harder than anyone else on her team, that she had never been late, never complained, never asked for anything beyond what was fair. But she had learned long ago that protesting only made things worse. "Understood," Maya said quietly. She lifted the box and walked toward the elevator, each step heavier than the last. Behind her, she heard whispers. Something about budget cuts, something about the new manager wanting to bring in his own people. It did not matter anymore. The elevator doors slid open and she stepped inside. As they closed, she caught one last glimpse of the office, the place she had poured so much of herself into, now indifferent to her absence. Outside, the sky had turned a brooding shade of gray. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Maya stood on the sidewalk, box balanced on her hip, staring at the parking lot. Her car sat in the far corner, a 2007 sedan with a dent in the passenger door and a check engine light that had been on for 3 weeks. She had been meaning to get it looked at, but there was never enough money, never enough time. Now there was no job either. She walked slowly, the first drops of rain beginning to fall. By the time she reached the car, the drizzle had turned into a steady downpour. She fumbled with her keys, opened the trunk, and shoved the box inside. Then she sat in the driver's seat and let the rain hammer against the windshield. Her phone buzzed. A text from her daughter's daycare. "Reminder, payment due by Friday, or we cannot hold Lily's spot." Maya closed her eyes. Rent was due in 5 days. Daycare in 3. Her bank account had $87. She had no safety net, no family nearby. Her parents had passed years ago, and her ex-husband had vanished before Lily turned 2, leaving nothing but unpaid child support and empty promises. Another buzz. This time it was her landlord. "Heads up, rent checks are being deposited tomorrow. Let me know if there's an issue." Maya's throat tightened. She typed back quickly. "All set. Thank you." It was a lie, but she needed time to figure something out. She sat there for what felt like hours, though it was only minutes. The rain continued, relentless. She thought about calling her friend Emma, but Emma was barely getting by herself. She thought about her old college roommate, but they had not spoken in years. There was no one? Maya exhaled slowly and started the car. The engine sputtered before turning over. She pulled out of the parking lot with no destination in mind, just a desperate need to move, to do something, anything, to stop the panic rising in her chest. She drove past strip malls and coffee shops, past parks where children played under bright umbrellas, held by parents who did not have to choose between daycare and groceries. Eventually, she found herself parked outside a small diner on the edge of town. the kind of place with cracked vinyl booths and a handwritten menu taped to the window. She did not have money for food, but she went inside anyway, ordering only a cup of coffee she could nurse for an hour. The waitress, an older woman with kind eyes and gray streaks in her ponytail, set the cup down gently. "Rough day?" she asked. Maya nodded, not trusting her voice. "Been there," the waitress said. "More times than I can count. But you're still here. That means something." Maya managed a small smile, though it did not reach her eyes. She sat there until the rain stopped and the sky turned a muted pink. Then she paid, left a tip she could not afford, and walked back to her car. That night, Maya picked up Lily from daycare with a smile she did not feel. Lily was 4 years old, with wild curls and a laugh that could fill an entire room. She had her mother's eyes and her father's stubbornness, though Maya tried not to think about that second part. "Mama!" Lily ran into her arms, clutching a drawing of what appeared to be a dinosaur wearing a crown. "What's this, sweetheart?" "It's Princess Rex. She's the queen of all the dinosaurs." Maya laughed, a real one this time. "She's perfect." They drove home to their small apartment, a one-bedroom walk-up with thin walls and a leaky faucet Maya had learned to fix herself. Lily chattered the entire way, telling stories about her day, about her friend Noah, who could burp the alphabet, and about how she wanted a pet turtle named Frank. Maya listened, nodding in all the right places, her mind elsewhere. That night, after Lily was asleep, Maya sat at the kitchen table with her laptop open, scrolling through job postings. Most required, experience she did not have or degrees she could not afford. Others paid too little to cover rent, let alone daycare. She applied to 12 positions anyway, each one a small, desperate hope folded into a digital envelope and sent into the void. By midnight, she had heard back from none of them. She closed the laptop and stared at the wall. Tomorrow, she would try again. She would call temp agencies. She would ask at the grocery store if they were hiring. She would do whatever it took. But tonight, she let herself feel it. The fear, the exhaustion, the weight of carrying everything alone. She glanced at Lily's room, where the soft glow of a nightlight painted shadows on the wall. "I'll figure it out," Maya whispered to no one. "I always do." But even as she said it, she was not sure she believed it anymore. The next morning began too early. Lily woke at 6, full of energy and demands for pancakes. Maya made toast instead, spreading peanut butter thin to make the jar last longer. "Why no pancakes?" Lily asked, pouting. "We're saving them for the weekend," Maya said, forcing brightness into her voice. "Something special to look forward to." Lily seemed satisfied with that answer and ate her toast while Maya checked her phone. No responses to her applications. She tried not to let the disappointment show. After dropping Lily off at daycare, Maya spent the day driving from place to place. A coffee shop, a bookstore, a dry cleaner, anywhere with a help wanted sign in the window. Most told her they had just filled the position. Others took her information with polite smiles that felt like gentle dismissals. By late afternoon, her phone was down to 8% battery, and her gas tank was nearly empty. She sat in a grocery store parking lot, staring at her bank balance. $72. Rent was $450. Daycare was $200. Gas and food, maybe another $100 if she was careful. The math did not work. It had not worked in a long time, but she had always managed to stretch things, to juggle just enough to keep everything from crashing down. Now there was nothing left to stretch. Maya rested her forehead against the steering wheel and let out a long, shaky breath. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered hesitantly. "Hello?" "Hi, is this Maya Chen?" The voice was professional, clipped. Maya's heart jumped. "Yes, this is she." "This is calling from Westfield Consulting. We received your application for the administrative assistant position." Yes, Maya said quickly, sitting up straight. Yes, I applied yesterday. We'd like to schedule an interview. Would tomorrow at 10 work for you? Maya's chest tightened with something close to hope. Absolutely. I'll be there. The woman gave her the address and hung up. Maya stared at her phone, barely breathing. One interview. One chance. It was not much, but it was something. That night, she stayed up late preparing. She researched the company, practiced answers to common interview questions, and ironed her only professional blouse. Lily wandered into the living room, rubbing her eyes. Mama, why are you still awake? Just getting ready for something important tomorrow, baby. Lily climbed into her lap. Are you sad? Maya kissed the top of her head. No, sweetheart. I'm hopeful. And for the first time in days, it felt true. The interview was in a tall glass building downtown, the kind that reflected clouds and made everything around it look small. Maya arrived 15 minutes early, her palms damp, her heart pounding. The lobby was pristine, marble floors, modern art on the walls, a receptionist who looked like she belonged in a magazine. Maya gave her name and was directed to the elevators. 14th floor, they'll meet you there. She rode up in silence, watching the numbers climb. When the doors opened, a woman in a sleek gray suit greeted her with a tight smile. Maya, follow me. They walked down a hallway lined with glass-walled offices. Inside, people worked quietly, focused, efficient. Maya was led into a conference room where two people sat waiting. A man in his 40s with sharp eyes and an expensive watch. A younger woman with a tablet and an expression that gave nothing away. Please, sit, the man said. Maya sat, folding her hands in her lap to keep them from shaking. The interview began. Standard questions, her experience, her strengths, why she wanted the job. Maya answered carefully, honestly. She talked about her work ethic, her attention to detail, her ability to adapt. The man nodded occasionally. The woman typed notes. Then came the question Maya had been dreading. Why did you leave your last position? Maya hesitated. She could lie. Say she was looking for new opportunities, but something in the man's gaze told her he would see through it. I was let go, she said quietly. The company restructured, and my position was eliminated. The man leaned back. I see. The silence that followed felt like judgment. Finally he spoke. We'll be in touch. Maya stood, shook their hands, and left. As she rode the elevator back down, she knew she was not going to get the job. Maya sat in her car outside the building for a long time. She had nowhere else to go, no other interviews scheduled, no callbacks from the dozens of applications she had sent. She checked her phone. 3 missed calls from the daycare. Her stomach dropped. She called back immediately. Ms. Rivera? The director's voice was apologetic, but firm. I'm so sorry, but we need to discuss Lily's account. You're now 2 weeks past due, and our policy states— I know, Maya interrupted, her voice breaking slightly. I know the policy. I'm working on it. I just need a few more days. I understand this is difficult, but we have a waiting list. If payment isn't received by Friday, we'll have to release her spot. Please, Maya whispered. Please don't do that. She loves it there. I'll have the money, I promise. The director sighed. Friday, that's the absolute latest. The call ended. Maya sat there, phone in hand, feeling the walls close in. Friday was 2 days away. She had no job, no prospects, and $72 to her name. That evening, Maya picked up Lily with a smile that felt like shattered glass held together by sheer will. Lily ran to her as always, full of stories and laughter, completely unaware that their world was crumbling. They went home. Maya made dinner from whatever was left in the cupboard. Pasta with butter, no sauce, no vegetables. Just something to fill their stomachs. Lily ate happily, talking about a butterfly she had seen at daycare. Maya pushed food around her plate, unable to eat. After Lily was asleep, Maya opened her laptop again. She searched for emergency assistance programs, food banks, anything that might help. Most had waiting lists or requirements she did not meet. She looked at apartments for rent. Even the cheapest ones were beyond her reach now. Her phone buzzed, a text from her landlord. "Hey Maya, just following up. Rent deposit went through, but it bounced. Need to sort this out ASAP." Maya's hands shook as she typed back, "There must be a mistake. Let me check with my bank." Another lie. She set the phone down and buried her face in her hands. The next morning, Maya woke to Lily tugging on her sleeve. "Mama, I don't feel good." Maya pressed her hand to Lily's forehead. She was burning up. "Oh, baby," Maya whispered, pulling her daughter close. She gave Lily medicine, tucked her back into bed, and called the daycare to say she would not be coming in. Then she sat on the floor beside Lily's bed, watching her daughter sleep, and felt the last threads of her composure begin to unravel. She could not afford a doctor if this got worse. She could not afford to miss job searching. She could not afford anything. Her phone rang. Unknown number again. She answered, keeping her voice low. "Hello? Hi, is this Maya Rivera?" "Yes." "This is calling from Apex Industries. We're looking to fill a position immediately and saw your application. Can you come in for an interview today?" Maya's heart raced. "Yes, absolutely. What time?" 2 o'clock work? I'll be there." She hung up and looked at Lily, still sleeping fitfully. She called her neighbor, Mrs. Chen, an elderly woman who sometimes watched Lily in emergencies. "Please," Maya said when Mrs. Chen answered. "I know this is last minute, but I have an interview. It's urgent. Can you watch Lily for just a few hours?" Mrs. Chen agreed, though Maya could hear the hesitation in her voice. At 1:30, Maya left Lily with Mrs. Chen, promising to be back soon. She drove across town to a warehouse district, following the GPS to an address that looked nothing like the professional offices she had been expecting. Apex Industries was housed in a converted warehouse with peeling paint and a handwritten sign on the door. Maya hesitated, then went inside. The interview lasted 10 minutes. A man, with coffee-stained teeth and a wrinkled shirt, asked her 3 questions, barely listening to her answers. "You can lift 50 pounds?" he asked. "Yes." "You can work nights?" "Yes." "Start tomorrow, $7.25 an hour, cash only." Maya's heart sank. It was below minimum wage. It was barely enough to survive, but it was something. "I'll take it," she said. She left feeling hollow. This was not what she had imagined when she had studied late into the night to finish her associate's degree. This was not the future she wanted for Lily, but it was all she had. That night, Lily's fever broke. Maya held her close, grateful for small mercies. But when Friday came, Maya still did not have enough money for daycare. She called the director one last time. "I'm so sorry," Maya said, her voice cracking. "I started a new job, but I won't get paid until next week. Please, just a few more days?" "I'm sorry, Maya, I really am, but we have to release Lily's spot." The words landed like stones. "What am I supposed to do?" Maya whispered. "There are other daycares. I can give you some referrals." "They all have waiting lists. You know that." Silence. "I'm truly sorry," the director said softly, and hung up. Maya sat on the kitchen floor and cried. Not quietly, not carefully. She let herself break just for a moment because there was no one there to see it. When she was done, she wiped her face and made a decision. She could not afford daycare. She could not afford this apartment. She could barely afford food. So, she would do what she had to do. That weekend, Maya packed everything she and Lily owned into her car. Clothes, toys, blankets, the essentials that fit. She left behind furniture, dishes, everything that would not travel. Her landlord had already sent an eviction notice. She did not fight it. On Sunday evening, she drove to a quiet parking lot behind a 24-hour grocery store, the kind of place with lights that stayed on all night and security cameras that might offer some sense of safety. She parked in the back corner. Lily was asleep in the back seat, curled up with her favorite stuffed bunny. Maya reclined the driver's seat as far as it would go and pulled a blanket over herself. This was home now, a car, a prayer, and a daughter who deserved so much more. The first night was the hardest. Every sound made Maya jump. Every car that pulled into the lot made her heart race. She barely slept, watching Lily instead, making sure she stayed warm, stayed safe. In the morning, they used the grocery store bathroom to wash up. Maya changed Lily's clothes in a stall and tried to make it feel like an adventure. "We're camping, baby," she said with forced cheerfulness. Lily looked uncertain but nodded. Maya started her new job that night. The warehouse work was brutal, lifting boxes, sorting inventory, loading trucks. Her back ached, her hands blistered, but she kept going. She worked until 2 a.m, then drove back to the parking lot where Lily slept in the back seat, watched over by Mrs. Chen, who had agreed to help for a few hours each night in exchange for the little money Maya could spare. During the day, Maya searched for affordable childcare, for better jobs, for any path forward that did not involve sleeping in a car, but every door seemed to close before she could reach it. 3 days into this new reality, Maya sat in her car during a break at work. Rain pounded against the windshield. Her phone battery was at 4%. She had $17 left until payday. She closed her eyes and whispered into the darkness, "I don't know how to do this anymore." The next evening, everything changed. Maya had just finished her shift. It was nearly 3 a.m. She was exhausted, every muscle screaming. As she walked through the parking lot toward her car, she noticed another vehicle parked nearby, a sleek black SUV, out of place in this warehouse district. A man stood beside it, talking on his phone. He wore an expensive coat despite the warm night. His voice was low, controlled, but Maya could hear the frustration in it. "I understand the deadline, but I'm not cutting corners on safety. Tell the board they can wait." He hung up, ran a hand through his dark hair, and that's when he saw her. Their eyes met for just a moment. Maya looked away quickly and kept walking, but she felt his gaze follow her. She reached her car, opened the door as quietly as possible. Inside, Lily was asleep in the back seat, surrounded by blankets and stuffed animals. Mrs. Chen had left an hour ago. Maya slid into the driver's seat carefully, trying not to wake her daughter. She was pulling the door closed when she heard footsteps approaching. The man from the SUV appeared at her window. Maya's heart raced. She cracked the window an inch. "Can I help you?" she asked, keeping her voice steady despite the fear creeping up her spine. The man's expression was unreadable. He glanced at the back seat, at Lily sleeping peacefully, then back at Maya. "You work at the warehouse?" he asked. Maya nodded slowly. "Night shift. And you're living in your car." It was not a question. Maya's throat tightened. She thought about lying, but what was the point? "Temporarily," she said quietly. "I'm figuring things out." The man was silent for a long moment. Then he said, "My name is Daniel. I own the warehouse. Well, my company does." Maya's stomach dropped. "Look, I'm not doing anything wrong. I park here after my shift, that's all. I'll find somewhere else." "No," he interrupted gently. "That's not why I'm telling you." He crouched down so he was eye level with her window. "I come by sometimes late at night to check on things. I've seen you here before. Seen your daughter." Maya's hands gripped the steering wheel. I can sleep in my car, it's fine, she said, her voice breaking slightly. I just need this job. Please don't fire me. I can't lose this too. Daniel's expression softened in a way that surprised her. I'm not firing you, he said quietly, but I can't let you keep sleeping here either. Not like this, not with a child. Tears burned Maya's eyes. I don't have anywhere else to go. He stood, pulled out his phone, and made a call. Sarah, I need you to open up the apartment above the office. Yes, tonight. Thank you. He hung up and looked at Maya. There's a small apartment on the property. It's not fancy, but it's safe, warm, and yours if you want it. Maya stared at him, unable to process what she was hearing. I don't understand, she whispered. You don't have to understand, Daniel said. You just have to say yes. Maya's vision blurred with tears. I can't pay rent. I barely have enough for food. No rent, he said simply. Consider it part of your employment benefits. Why? Maya asked, her voice cracking. Why would you do this? Daniel glanced at the back seat again, at Lily sleeping peacefully, and something painful crossed his face. Because someone did it for me once, he said quietly. When I was the one sleeping in my car with my daughter, and I swore if I ever had the chance to help someone else, I would. Maya could not speak, could not breathe. He pulled a key from his pocket and held it out. It's just up the stairs, second door on the left. There's a bed, a bathroom, a small kitchen. It's not much, but it's warm. Maya took the key with trembling hands. Thank you, she whispered. I don't know how to thank you. You already did, Daniel said, by not giving up, by showing up every night and working harder than anyone else on that floor. That's all the thanks I need. He turned to leave, then paused. And Maya, you're getting a raise, $12 an hour starting tomorrow. Day shift, so you can be with your daughter at night. Maya's tears spilled over. Daniel smiled softly and walked back to his SUV. As he drove away, Maya sat in her car, clutching the key, unable to believe what had just happened. She looked at Lily, still sleeping peacefully. We're going to be okay, baby, she whispered. We're finally going to be okay. That night, Maya carried Lily up the stairs to the apartment. It was small, just as Daniel had said. One room with a bed, a kitchenette, and a bathroom. But it was clean, safe, warm. Maya laid Lily on the bed and tucked her in. Then she sat on the floor beside her and cried tears of relief, of exhaustion, of gratitude so overwhelming it hurt. For the first time in weeks, she let herself hope. The next morning, Maya woke to sunlight streaming through the window. Lily was already awake, exploring the small space with wide eyes. Mama, is this our new house? Maya smiled, really smiled. Yes, sweetheart, this is our new house. Lily clapped her hands. Can we get Princess Rex a fish tank to live in? Maya laughed. Maybe someday. That evening, Maya showed up for her new day shift. The work was still hard, but it felt different now, manageable, hopeful. Daniel came by during her break. Settling in okay? He asked. More than okay, Maya said. I still don't know how to thank you properly. Just keep showing up, he said. That's all I ask. He started to leave, then turned back. I have a daughter too, Emma. She's 6. Lost her mom 3 years ago in an accident. Maya's heart clenched. I'm so sorry. After it happened, I fell apart. Lost my job, my apartment, everything. Ended up living in my car with Emma for months, until a warehouse manager saw us one night and offered me work and a place to stay. He paused. That manager taught me that kindness is not about grand gestures. It's about showing up when someone needs you most, even if they are too proud to ask. Maya nodded, understanding now. He gave me a second chance, Daniel continued. I built this company from that second chance, And now I get to pass it forward." "You did more than pass it forward," Maya said softly. "You saved us." Daniel smiled. "You saved yourself. I just gave you a place to rest while you did it." Over the following weeks, Maya's life began to stabilize. She worked her shifts, saved her paychecks, and spent her evenings with Lily in their small apartment. Daniel checked in occasionally, always respectful, never intrusive. Sometimes he brought groceries, claiming he had extras from a bulk purchase. Other times he simply asked how they were doing. Maya learned that beneath his businessman exterior, Daniel was kind, thoughtful, and deeply scarred by his own past. One evening he invited Maya and Lily to dinner at his house. A small gathering, he said, just him and Emma. Maya hesitated, but Lily was excited at the prospect of meeting another little girl. They went. Daniel's house was modest, warm, nothing like the mansion Maya might have expected from a successful business owner. Emma was shy at first, but within minutes she and Lily were playing with dolls in the corner, their laughter filling the room. Daniel and Maya sat at the kitchen table, watching them. "They look happy," Maya said softly. "They do," Daniel agreed. He turned to her. "I want to offer you something, a permanent position, office manager, better pay, benefits, health insurance for you and Lily." Maya's eyes widened. "Daniel, I don't have experience." "You're organized, reliable, and care about the details. That's all I need. The rest, we can teach you." Maya felt tears prick her eyes again. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," she laughed, wiping her eyes. "Yes, of course, yes." As the evening continued, Maya watched Daniel with Emma, the gentle way he brushed her hair back, the patience in his voice when she asked him to read her favorite book for the third time. He was a good father, a good man. And for the first time in years, Maya allowed herself to wonder if maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something more than just survival. Maybe it was the beginning of healing, of home, of a second chance neither of them had thought possible. 6 months. Later, Maya stood in the doorway of the warehouse office, watching the afternoon sun cast golden light across the floor. She had come so far from that night in the parking lot, from the fear, the desperation, the belief that she had reached the end. Lily was thriving in her new school, a program Daniel had helped her enroll in. She had friends, stability, joy. And Maya had something she had not felt in years: peace. Daniel appeared beside her, 2 cups of coffee in hand. He offered her one. "Thinking deep thoughts?" he asked with a smile. "Just remembering where we started," Maya said. He nodded. "I remember too." They stood in comfortable silence. "You know," Daniel said quietly, "I never told you the full story of what happened to me after Emma's mom died." Maya turned to him. "I was drowning," he continued. "Not just financially, but emotionally. I did not know how to be a single father, did not know how to grieve and still show up for my daughter. That warehouse manager, the one who helped me, he said something I'll never forget." He paused. He said, "You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be willing to take the next step, and then the next one, and then the next. Eventually, you will look back and realize you have walked a mile." Maya felt those words settle deep in her chest. "We've walked more than a mile," she said softly. "We have," Daniel agreed. "And we have a lot more walking to do, if you want to." She looked at him, understanding the weight behind those words. "I want to," she said. He smiled, and in that moment, surrounded by the hum of the warehouse and the golden light of late afternoon, Maya realized something profound. This was not just about survival anymore. This was about building a life worth living. That evening, Maya and Lily sat together in their apartment, now filled with small touches of home. Pictures on the walls, plants on the windowsill, Lily's artwork covering the fridge. "Mama," Lily asked, looking up from her coloring book. "Yes, baby?" "Are we happy now?" Maya pulled her daughter close. "Yes, sweetheart, we're happy now." And for the first time in longer than she could remember, it was true. Sometimes the darkest nights come right before dawn. Sometimes the moment you think you cannot go on is the moment everything changes. Maya had been ready to give up, sleeping in her car, believing she had nothing left to offer the world. But she kept showing up, kept trying, kept loving her daughter with everything she had. And that was enough. Because kindness sees what pride tries to hide. And second chances come from the most unexpected places, offered by people who remember what it feels like to need one. Thank you for sharing this moment of chance, connection, and meaning. If this story reminded you that even in our darkest hours, hope can arrive when we least expect it, then please subscribe to Lucky Encounters. We bring you heartfelt tales of resilience, where a simple act of compassion can change everything. Click on one of the stories on your screen for more inspiring moments. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and remember, sometimes the end of one road is just the beginning of another. Subscribe now.